Hey guys, welcome to this week's Dennis Kirk Tech Tip. Today we're going to talk about torque settings and checking your bolts. On all motorcycles, dirt bikes, street bikes, adventure bikes, dual sport bikes, the biggest enemy of a tight bolt is vibration, right? And unless you're riding like an electric dirt bike that doesn't vibrate at all, your nuts and bolts are going to come loose, and you should check them on a regular basis. So what we have in front of us is a 2025 Husqvarna FC350. And it's funny, one of the biggest things that goes wrong with these bikes is the swing arm pivot motor mount. So there's obviously a big bolt coming through and a nut on the other side of this engine guard. The reason these are always loose is because the nut is out of sight, out of mind behind this awesome plastic frame guard that keeps your paint nice, but also provides great grip for your boots. So this bike was barely just built. Obviously it's not a stock bike. The guys at Husqvarna built this up for Chase Curtis, and it has an awesome frame, paint job, and some extra parts and a retro graphic kit. But we're gonna show you, if you ride an Austrian bike, what you should do to check to make sure your swing arm pivot is not loose. First thing you need is a high quality torque wrench. We're going to use a 3/8 drive torque wrench for this. These are available at Dennis Kirk for about $77. And it's a really great investment because having your bolts torqued to the right spec not only help them stay tight, but they will keep you from over tightening stuff and damaging your bike. And also when it comes to chassis parts, torque settings are very critical in allowing your bike to handle the way it's designed to. First thing we're going to do, this frame guard is held on with a couple zip ties and a little tiny bolt there, so we're going to cut the zip ties off. And this is the swing arm pivot nut that comes loose all the time. So we're going to check it out. Oh, a little bit loose there. So Husqvarna's recommended torque setting for this is 100 Newton meters. So we already have our torque wrench set to 100 Newton meters, but let's see if it turns, because I think it's loose. Yeah, so when your bike is new, things need to seat in and sometimes they come loose. So obviously that's the case with this bike, because we're not going to criticize the job that the techs, there you go, 100 Newton meters. She's all good to go, and we're just going to reinstall the frame guard with the bolt and a zip tie. It's funny, the optical illusion is that the bolt goes in here, but there's actually a thread on the frame there. Obviously, with any job, especially a bolt this small, you want to start it by hand, right? So you don't want to cross thread it with a tool because you have more feel with your fingers. Okay, and then all that's left is a new zip tie. They sell giant packs of zip ties on DennisKirk.com. You never have enough zip ties. Get used for all kinds of things, from frame guards like this to attaching your cables and wires to your bars, etc., etc. So there you go. We checked this 100 Newton meters on the swing arm pivot nut. And next we're going to double check our engine mounts. Actually, one of the reasons that we are checking these are the stock Husqvarna frames are dark blue. For this project, we had it powder coated silver at San Diego Powder Coating. Whenever you do something like that, change the color of your frame with powder coat or paint and reassemble the whole thing, you need to double check your engine mounts, all the critical bolts, because they have a tendency to come loose, not only as the bike breaks in, but as some of the powder coating breaks down behind the bolts. So these are supposed to be 25 Newton meters for the engine hangers, both on the frame and on the cylinder head of the bike. So let's check it out. I've got the torque wrench set to 25. Oh yeah, a little bit loose, probably because of that powder coat. So there you go. Checking all three. It's always a good idea to go over them one more time. You never see a factory mechanic check the bolts just once. We're going to check the motor mounts on this Husqvarna now. So This bike has motor mounts that run through into a threaded sleeve on the other side of the frame, so there's no need to hold the bolt side and tighten the nut. So this is 60 foot-pounds. You can obviously check all the recommended torque settings in your owner's manual or manufacturer website. And again, it's always a good idea to torque everything to spec. So, that was a little loose. There we go. Okay, we'll double check them. Okay, so there we go. So guys, invest in a torque wrench like this one, $77, and keep your bike running right.